Hey guys, in previous video I mentioned that was my finishing touch to the demo application, the short URL service. But I feel or realize that I still miss one thing very important in this application. What is it? It's something like this. So that's the pagination bar on the web page. This is a very common feature in most of the applications. It allows us to list a limit range of users' data on the web page. Otherwise, if we list everything for them, we might end up performance issue. Okay, so this is a pretty common feature, so no need to talk too much about it. Let's see how I implement this bar on the page. Remember that I'm working on a Laravel application with Inertia, so we may not be able to use the Laravel provided the pagination bar or the view. If you look into the official documentation, the Laravel framework already gives us a feature to render the pagination links with a simple function call. But that's not enough. So for us in the inertia context, so what can we do? So let's look into the code change I have done and explain why we cannot simply use the Laravel functions or the templates. So this is the project. You can see that we have the short URL controller. This is the controller that powers the inertia client, which is implemented in this view component. So this is also where I implement the pagination bar. Now let's go back to the controller. We can see so the data on the page is passed from the controller to the client side or the view component. So all this data is actually passed or transferred from server side as JSON data blob to the client. So that's why we cannot simply use the Laravel provided templates. Okay, now we can see here we need to build the JSON data blob for the client to render the pagination links or the bar. In my case, I did two things. Firstly, I use the paginate function call to get a paginator, which accepts the size parameter. It will tell the paginator how many items or entries I need per page. So in my case, it's 10, which means I want to show 10 short URLs per page for the user. Okay, so this function will return a paginator object. This object has a bunch of functions that we can use. So now let's scroll down to the end of the page. So you can see here the paginator instance method. So this is what we can use. There are a bunch of methods. So now let's look into what I used. So I get the last page. So this is the last page, which indicate how many pages are there for the whole set of the data in my query. And the current page, so which page I land on. If the first time I open this page, the short URL page, actually I'm on the page 1. If I click this link, I'm going to page 2. So it's identified as a URL parameter, query parameter. So starting from 1. So this is the current page. And the start and end variables are used specify the range, index range. I like to have 5 indexes on the page or in the pagination bar. So this is what I did to determine the range. If there are less than 5 pages, no more than 5 pages, so it will end up on page 5, so that last page. So this is how we determine the range. So feel free to go through the implementation. So I'll put the PR in the video description so you can check it out and see how I implement this part. So this is also part of the code in the controller directly. So if you prefer, you can also extract it into a separate the pagination service, so it can be easily reused in your other application or features. And based on the range from start to end, I built a link array which has items with index and the URL properties. The index is simply the number of the page, index of the page starting from 1. The URL is the corresponding link that user clicks to navigate to that page. Okay, this is also using the paginator function URL to get the actual HTTP URL for user to click. And here I use another property called pagination to include all the pagination bar required data, including the total pages, the current page, first page URL, last page URL, next page URL, and previous page one, as well as the links array. The links array has all the data required to render the indexes here on the page, so visible indexes on the page user are able to click. So no more than 5 in my application, which means if we have 10 pages and I display the 5 pages in the middle, say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, or 9 and 10, page 10 won't be directly visible in the pagination bar until you click, say, page 8. So when you land on page 8, you should be able to see 5 pages, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So these indexes will be in the bar. Oh, so this is totally how we want to organize the bar. If you want, you can also list all the pages in the bar always, so that users can navigate through. Okay, that's it for the data part. So this is how the controller can build the pagination data blob for the client side. Now let's go to the client side or the view component index. I add another property to the view component called pagination type object. So I didn't declare the class for the pagination object, so we simply use object here, type here. Now we are able to use the pagination data path from the controller. So this div is the bar. It will only be displayed when total pages are more than 1. If there's only 1 page, which means at most there are only 10 short URLs, there's no need to render the bar. Even we render it, will be just 1 index there. So it doesn't make sense. And the rest are the indexes, including the first page, previous page, next page, last page, for shortcuts or short links. These things, so we can navigate the users to previous page or the next, or even the first page or the last page. So this is how we can build up the URL, the pagination bar with the links and the indexes. Okay, I think that's it for the pagination bar in Inertia application. This is just it's a kind of demonstration. There's no clean code concept in it, so feel free to extract the necessary logic or component to separate a code block or class or whatever you prefer so that it can be reused. But for now, I think that's the concept. Essentially, you build up the data blob for the pagination bar in the inertia controller, and in the view component, build up the pagination bar mockup as you wish, and fill with the data passed from the controller. That's it. Okay, I think that's it for today. I'm not sure if there's anything else I'm going to add to this application and share with you with video. So stay tuned. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, thumbs up, and ring the bell. Thanks. See you the next one. Bye bye.